Sup YouTube, this is Sly88Fry here. So, brand new React video, just gonna get this done real quick. It's to a new Jonathan Pie video that just came out. I didn't even realize it came out yesterday, so I'm just gonna get this done real quick, and then upload it, and yeah, let's go. Let's do it. That's too noisy.
The government refused to extend the free school meals programme over half-term and the Christmas holidays. The footballer Marcus Rashford says he will continue to press for more funding. Let's take a look. Gotta say, this all makes Thatcher the milk snatcher seem like a nice lady. You know, I don't know why you'd vote against giving children food.
Yeah, no kidding.
National crisis. Do you know what I mean? All Marcus Rashford is suggesting is, you know, what with everything else that's going on, can we at least ensure our children aren't going hungry? You know, up until Easter. This wasn't Labour trying to score cheap political points. It's not some far-left plot to entice toddlers to join Antifa by bribing them with one fully balanced meal a day. It's like a couple of weeks ago when you had Boris and Priti Patel bemoaning those lefty human rights lawyers, you know, fucking commie bastards standing up for, you know, human rights. One of which is the right not to go hungry. I also think that we all have a right to live in a country where your government doesn't, on your behalf, allow 4.2 million children to live in poverty.
Yeah.
Children in poverty, in hunger, in
That's
the UK.
so sad.
How is that even possible? If massive swathes of the child population are malnourished, you have no right to call yourself a civilized country. It's Dickensian. And it is. Rickets and scurvy and scarlet fever are on the rise. I mean, I know Boris looks like a caricature of a cruel beadle from some Victorian Gothic novel, but rickets? People are struggling to feed their children, okay? The majority of this country has just taken a massive pay cut, which is fine if you're one of the Boris Johnsons of this world.
Yeah,
A man
definitely.
so out of touch, he once described his £250,000 salary from the Daily Telegraph as chicken feed. You fucking...
Really? That's fucked up.
I can hear the conversation. You know, this bloody footballer with the brown skin and the regional accent talking about feeding working class children or some such nonsense. How do we shut him up? You know, do we actually have to feed these starving kids, or can we just give him an NBE? Because that usually works with most of my old Eton chums.
So fucked up.
Talking about feeding poor people, right? Something else they voted down recently relating to food. This is madness. The government voted down amendments to an agriculture bill, which means, get this, thanks to Brexit, the biggest reclamation of parliamentary sovereignty in generations, the government can now bypass that very same sovereignty of Parliament, oh, the irony, and change our food and farming standards without any public or parliamentary scrutiny whatsoever.
That's fucking
But
horrible.
our food standards are already enshrined in law, shouts Liz Truss, whilst voting against ensuring they remain so, paving the way for some of those amazing trade deals we've been hearing so much about. The truth is, the US and India are actively prioritizing lowering our food standards, and the US's official stance is that nutritional labeling is a barrier to trade. You know, labeling, where you get to find out where your food is coming from, what it contains, how it was produced, how good or bad it is for you. Soon, you won't even know what you're eating, and we'll all
That's
get
horrible.
fat, and then we'll all just fucking die, except our children, of course, who will just be left to starve.
Oh, they'll die that way instead.
Shall I tell you
Horrible.
who I reckon hates Marcus Rashford more than the Prime Minister right now? Jamie
Wow.
Oliver. Pissed all over his fire, didn't he? I bet Jamie's like, school meals is my thing, motherfucker, back off!
That's fucked up, man.
Thank you. Well, many local councils and business leaders have stepped in where the government hasn't, many pledging to feed children who are eligible for free school meals over the half-term holidays.
Oh, man. I'm really sorry for you guys across the pond. This just doesn't sound right at all. I mean, here in the U.S., I think just in general, the government doesn't care about the people at all. Otherwise we'd be treated a lot better for COVID and all this other stuff going on. At the very least, I think things are getting better now here in the U.S., but the fact remains, there's a lot that could have been done to actually make this pandemic last much shorter, and it was never done. And then on top of that, we had those protests and Antifa, thanks to that Minnesota cop who shot George Floyd. No, he didn't shoot him. He left his knee on his neck, causing him to suffocate, I think is what it was. And nobody did anything about it. The only people who did something were protesters, which, to be honest, I actually personally do not know if the protesting actually led to anything besides Antifa existing. And there's also still those people out there who think Antifa sucks, or they hate it. They think that it's wrong. It's okay to be anti-fascist. It's okay to be anti-establishment. It's okay to be against what has been wronging the people for so long. Being just all gung-ho that America is the best is a stupid point of view. And actually, it's wrong. The U.S. has not been the best country in the world for quite some time, actually. At least since the 2000s. Maybe even the 90s they still weren't. We still weren't. I mean, honestly, I don't know. There was a racing bar chart I saw. It talked about that. I don't know what their research was that determined these statistics, but in the 90s, it actually said Australia had the best quality of life, not the U.S. U.S. was like 2 or 3 or something. But, I mean, as I was watching that racing bar chart, the U.S. just kept going down and down the list. And, I mean, there's as far as I remember, they're still on the list. Because, I mean, I think it's like top 15. But, like, saying that we're the best in the world is just ridiculous. I guess it's kind of off the point, though. But, it's pretty sad how there's all these similarities. We have an incompetent president. The UK has an incompetent prime minister. They look similar. They're both right-wing. They both don't actually care about the people. Both are just terrible. And then the ways the countries have been run during this pandemic is just really awful too. I mean, there's a good reason why so many countries won't let the U.S. travel to them, because it was handled so poorly here that they're afraid that we're going to start spreading it over to those countries. I mean, I can't even just like go up to Canada to get affordable prescriptions. I mean, I wish I couldn't really do it anyways, because I live in California and I'm a lot closer to Mexico anyway. But like, I still don't know the legal precedent to that before the pandemic. But during the pandemic, that's just impossible. That being said, as a reminder, those who live in California, please vote yes on Prop 22. It must pass because DoorDashers, Uber drivers, whatever the case may be, here in California want to remain independent contractors where we work our own hours at our own convenience. If I'm forced to work 8-hour shifts, it'd be impossible for me to take my wife to work and take her back. Because I'd be working a set 8-hour shift, and not only that, I'd make a lot less per hour because it would cost DoorDash a lot more, and they'd probably pay me like minimum wage or something. While normally with being paid per delivery, as long as I'm continuously working, I easily make well over $20 an hour, no problem. When I worked for the census, I was making $21 an hour, although that's ended, so that's kind of beside the point. Anyways, thank you so much. Please like, comment, subscribe. Click that bell icon to add notifications. I actually got a bunch of other React videos to some Jonathan Pie videos as well, and they're in a playlist of Jonathan Pie Reacts, as well as many other Reacts. You ought to check out my React to the Mulan pitch meeting. How Mulan was made triggered me so much. You'll enjoy watching that. Plus, I have my recent 2-part You Know It's Bullshit video. Yes, I know Cinemasker, James Rolfe, also known as Angry Video Game Nerd, came up with You Know It's Bullshit. But I decided to do a 2-parter for the 2020 election, which I think you'll enjoy if you're really sick of the 2 choices we have as major candidates and their running mates. Anyways, and if you're tired of being vote shamed. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, click that bell icon to add me notifications. I really hope these kids get the meals they deserve and what the meals they need, because we can't have starving kids. I mean, well, they can't have them. I mean, we have starving kids here too, but what they're doing in the UK, that's just fucked up. They better fix that right now. All right, thank you so much.